see. Check one. Oh, I think we got it finally. Welcome, everybody. Dr. Kevin Jarena checking in. Like I said, we got Instagram Live, round two. I think we're on round three of the live stream here tonight, and we are getting it all figured out. So thank you for your bearing with me. But I have a fun introduction to you about Instagram. Excuse me, not Instagram. I'm thinking about Instagram. I did a live stream on Instagram, and we are talking about biofeedback. So I'm gonna show you that, and we're gonna kick this thing off. Here we go.
All right. We are live Wednesday night. Get yourself right. We're going to be going over biofeedback. What is biofeedback? We'll be finding out in just a second, but it's the internal electronic matrix communication system inside you and the world. So stay tuned. I'm Dr. Kevin Jarena. We're going to be going into the depths of how to talk to the inner self, the inner voice, the matrix of the human mind-body connections. And what am I talking about? It is called a biofeedback mechanism. Neurobiofeedback. Neuro, part one, meaning the mind, the nervous system, the brain. I'm going to put that all in one. Okay, it's like the nervous system is like a tree, and I'll show you that in just a second. However, biofeedback. Biofeedback is a give and take system of yeses and nos, yin and yangs, up and down, in and out, above, below, feminine, masculine, those various things. So let's see. In that theory, or inaccuracies in those theories, and then this is a tree, but this. So let's see here. I'm going to show you something. Hang in there. So, like I said, my name is Dr. Kevin Jarena, and here we are, looking for photos to show you. And I'm just learning a few things, but take a look at this. This is a tree, but this represents how your nervous system works. However, I wish I could do one of these things. Let's see what happens. Oh, that's where I'm looking. That's what we're saying. This is inside you, however, in a different form. All right, so let's get out of that real quick. Now, what I want to do is, I'm going to show you what I am doing right here. I am doing one of these to get going on the rest of the world. Right over there, right down here. And there's me right there. Actually, this is kind of cool. I should do this for a little bit. And flip that back. Yes, I'm in my office in the shared clinic, shared event space here, and I'm trying to get the best view for me to do my work and do all this. And I think what I'm trying to do is stream this onto the rest, and then we're going to be talking about this biofeedback. So you have a question, I'm listening, and essentially what we're doing here is tapping into the ability that the aspect of you that has knowledge on the rest of you. Now, it may sound a bit esoteric, so stay with me. There is a bit of philosophy involved, and we want to understand. Sometimes we have the theory, and then the science builds to prove it. And this is the nature of how all good science is done. There's a theory, and then different ways of going about discovering truth in that theory, or inaccuracies in those theories, and then we iron out details of it all. So let's see if I can find myself on the live. Oh, there we are. So I want to do that. Yes, we are. We are live, and I'm seeing it. I'm going to say hello, and I'm going to ask you to comment. I'm coming through loud and clear. I'm going to start the stream, and then we're going to be live for everybody else. And this is going to be exciting because I'm doing it now. I found this little hack to get through everything. So anyway, we're getting through to like 9 or 10 channels at once. So we're talking about biofeedback today. So if you like biofeedback, you know about biofeedback, give it a thumbs up. We'll talk a little more about that. However, with that being said, biofeedback, to me, there's a major concept here. So let's take a snapshot of the word biofeedback, and let's take a look at this idea. Well, everybody, welcome. And I'm going to switch right over to the proper screen. I'm showing everybody on the other channels a bit of the other things. And I got to make sure that we're not going too haywire, not too many things happening. But we're talking about this conversation, biofeedback, and we're talking about how to get yourself right using a technique where you get information from your mind, from your body, to make better decisions or to essentially align things so it works better. All right. So the idea here that I shared with the audience before, let me pull it up, is that this image represents a part of who you are on the inside. Our brain, if you turn this image upside down, has is like the ball of this tree, and the ball is underground, but the roots come out to every aspect of our body and connect to everything. And there's this wisdom, there's this inherent this inherent knowing by the body of what's going on. And the world I come from, we call that the safety pin cycle. Energy goes up, energy goes down. And it's this constant communication up and around, up and around, up and around. And the idea here, the concept here, is that there's information about our senses are giving feedback to our brain, and our brain is making decisions based on our senses. And the classic point of view is, of course, we have 5 senses. You know, our sound, our sight, our smell, our taste, our touch. However, we have many more senses than that. And biofeedback is an aspect. Let's go back to the main point. Biofeedback is a feature of how these senses are able to communicate to the one who's doing the questioning. See, in biofeedback, it takes 2 things. Number 1, it takes someone who's doing the questions, who's doing the asking, and 2, there's a system responding. Now, at first, so that's the main point of biofeedback. Okay, so how did biofeedback come about? Biofeedback came about through, I believe, earlier in the 60s. The one who really ironed it all out, at least here in the West, with a Eastern perspective, Dr. George Goodhart. However, I believe that he was working on other information that had come before him. And simply put, that there's this awareness that we hurt ourselves, ouch, we do something about it. However, there's greater information that can be gained about what is wrong, what's out of balance, and how to help it. Now, what I do with this information is help those who have been through very similar situations as myself. One of the things that's helped me is understanding a concept. All right, so, and then I'll talk to you about my story, because my story involves a lot of head injuries, traumatic brain injury, PTSD type stuff, emotion stuff that result of that, and I'll share some other images. But what I want to share right here, and I'm trying to get my camera view out of the way. I'm not sure how to do that. Let's see if that does something. That didn't do it. If you know how to move the camera on the screen here, so you can see the whole picture, let me know in the comments. However, with that being said, it says intention is information, has the power to change energy. I'm paraphrasing now because I can't see the whole thing. Change materials, change physical materials. So what I'm saying is the mental energies affect the physical bodies, and vice versa. You can see this graph that goes function, structure, chemistry, electromagnetic frequency fields, subtle energy fields, intention, information, and back and forth. Okay, it's one thing affects all things. All right. Now, why is this so important? Is if we put different words in these positions, what we're talking about here. Let me back up one second. We're talking about. Get out of this picture thing. We're talking about biofeedback. And biofeedback is about getting information. And in this case, we're getting information about the human body, the human mind, the human condition. Why? Because we want a better existence. We want to feel better. We want to sleep better, move better, eat better, make love better, better relationships, all of it. Play better, create more. All these things that make you alive, that make you human. So the point is, the biofeedback, when we start to apply it, we can see that the different parts of that system are either functioning or not functioning, or working or not working. And if we change words, the topic is called lexicon. Okay, let me pause about biofeedback. We're going to talk about lexicon for a second. Lexicon is one language over here, one language over here. They're saying the same exact things, but they have different words. So essentially, like looking at Spanish and English, or any language. However, there's different industries or different professions that have language that is very similar, if not saying the exact same thing with different words as this industry or this business over here. And oftentimes, specifically with the holistic, the pharmaceutical, the integrative healthcare systems, oftentimes there's different words that mean the same thing that are misunderstood and mistaken and therefore misrepresented and misapplied. So that being said, that's lexicon. Let's jump back to biofeedback and back to this image. It's so powerful because here we are. We're all wanting better function in life. That's the one right over there in the corner. And on the far end of this, we have all the way down there information. And information in the energy healer / woo-woo / metaphysical world, we could call the morphogenic field. We could call in the spiritual or religious circles the concept of what God represents. All-knowing, all-present, ever-aware. There's a few other concepts that fit this divine essence, though this is what I would call information. Literally everything in existence. And what's the Bible verse? There's nothing new created under the sun. Everything has been there. It's just new combinations, new recreations, and new reworking. So nonetheless, this is where the concept of information is. It contains the allness. Now here we are wanting that allness to function for our life. So this is the two ends of that spectrum. But in between are all these components. The physical alignment of the body tissues, as the bones, muscles, ligament, organs, and their alignments, that's structure. The chemistry, of course, we're very familiar with that. There's nutrition, there's minerals, there's vitamins, there's herbs, there's toxins, and that's a big category. Funguses, molds, viruses, bacterias, EMFs, all these different things that interfere with normal function of reality. And then there's also beneficial components of those things. And that's interwoven chemistry and EMF because the signaling through the neurohormones and the neurotransmitters and the other words our endocrine system, all these things are chemistry that are affected by the neurologic electrical system and vice versa. So there's this arrow between the two. And then we have subtle energy. This is where chakras, auras, meridians, this is where things in the work of reconnective healing, Dr. Eric Pearl, these worlds of subtle energy, and I believe in classic physics, it's called the subtle, weak and strong forces. That's a category of the four major forces in classical physics. If I'm wrong about that, if there's a fifth one, please update me in the comments, of course, and I'll get to that, and you'll be educating me because we're always learning, we're always growing together. So that's the subtle energy fields, and of course, then we have intention. Intention, one of these interesting dynamics, because now we're really getting into the quantum world, and we may want the best, but you may have heard the statement, intentions, good intentions are it's like pave the way to hell. So yes, we can have good intentions, but it's the alignment of our actions, the rightness of our actions, the ethics, the morals, the integrity of our actions. Do no harm to other. And how do we go about that? Well, that's life, right? That's the road of life. And when we make those shifts with our intentions, our understanding, our concepts, our perceptions, expectations, all these things, it changes our subtle energy fields, and we attract things, and things are attracted in different ways. We essentially tune our electromagnetic generator to different vibrations, different frequencies. This is why we feel things. We get the vibe. So let me stop that. And maybe I have a good image for getting the vibe. This is one of the best vibes I've been on in the past couple years, perhaps. But this vibe right here, was something that I really wanted to hone into my reality, this place of peace, yet expansiveness, yet majesty. And looking and sharing this picture of something I did last week is absolutely spectacular. And we got some, let's see if I can adjust this right here. So yeah, I don't want to be showing everybody all the comments and everything, but it's fun, if everybody wants to tune in and make a contribution, I'll appreciate that. So comment on that. I don't have the chat up on, let's see if I pull the chat up. Everybody's making comments over here. Though this is what I wanted to wire into my own reality. Okay, I got that. Get all these notifications when I check on things. Anyway, but wiring in what we want, it's a strategy to make yourself better. So just like athletes envision the finish line, or envision their personal best, envision how they want to feel. I'm encouraging that for you, because this is the information and intention level, and when we get to orient our physical body. That's the beauty of that chart. Now that takes the time component of what are we in, 4D, 3D? Make a comment, let me know where we're at, 4D or 3D. And I should say, as we using biofeedback. Now this all goes back to biofeedback, because when we know the tone we want, we know the image we want, we know the feeling that we want, we're either in alignment with it or out of alignment with it. And it's not going to be 100%. There's going to be aspects of you, components of you that are in alignment with it, hence you want it, hence it feels good. However, there's going to be components that are out of alignment, or there's incongruency in it, or there is some type of stress in it. I worked on a gentleman today on this exact topic. He has big things going, big things happening, and yet when he envisioned the feeling good of all that, the test showed all this stress in there. And uncovering using a biofeedback tool, we got to what's called the original event, where the stress became imprinted on his body, causing stress about receiving good things. Well, what a beautiful session as he cleared that, and he just felt so much freedom, so much relaxation, and so much openness to flow with what he's building in life. What a beautiful moment we had today. And I want that for you. And so the key thing that's helped me learn all the vast techniques I've learned and all the information I've shared with you tonight and more is one simple tool, and it's applied to everything that I do. And pretty much the same picture where I showed you in the mountains, well, the reason I was there in the mountains because of this collection of 70 or 80 acupuncture, naturopath doctors, osteopathic doctors, psychologists, mental wellness professionals, doctors of chiropractic, and more. I don't know everyone's profession, but there was a huge litany of professionals here, all specializing in these styles. And even the simplest thing is the most profound thing, kind of like dribbling the ball with Michael Jackson. And we're talking about biofeedback, the system that connects you to get information about aligning your mind, body, spirit, soul, so that you can live congruently, so you can move better, feel better, think clearer. There's ways that you can learn to do this for yourself because it's a natural inborn quality, and you can then use it for your good, for your children, for your pets, for your business partner, your life partner, whatever that is. You can even get a group congruent. And when that happens, things happen better, things happen faster, things happen more in flow. And that's the point. When you're not aligned, things are discombobulated, conjoined. It's all this smashing stuff, right? Life is smashing, life is falling apart. However, when you are aligned and when you know how to tap in and tune in and respond to these changes and feelings and tensions in life and within yourself and outside yourself, you can play the game of life better. Or if you'd like a better analogy, you can surf the waves with greater grace or greater amazingness. And the point of all this is biofeedback. The tool, the understanding, the inborn skill that you have is built within you. You have it. Learning to use it, kind of like learning to ride a bike, learning to spell, learning to sing, learning all these things. It's inherent in you. You just need to polish it, work on it, express it. And so there is a program called Become Your Own Healer. It teaches the key component. I call it the reflex response technique. Other people call it one of my primary teachers in life calls it the occipital drop. Other worlds call it a muscle test. However, there's a nuance. Let's talk about biofeedback better. There's a nuance to getting better results. And when we talk about that in the class, in the workshop, and it's a practical, experiential, go over the philosophy, practice experiences, technique experiences. This is on a replay workshop. However, if you get connected to it, there's a lot of bonus materials, there's bonus workshops, there's connection time with me, and I help you learn to master it. And of course, then I invite you on things like this, and we can talk more. And that being said, getting familiar with yourself. Talk about biofeedback. It's one of the grand methods to know yourself. And knowing yourself, this is what Hippocrates and this is what all these ancient wisdom people talked about. Knowing yourself. When you're congruent with yourself, when you know yourself, life just flows better. Biofeedback is the key method, the key concept, the key philosophy, the key understanding, key practical. It's practical. It's like it's tangible. You do it, and you get feedback on life and how to enrich life. And so, the more you can do this for yourself, the easier it is for people like me to help people like anybody that needs help in greater ways. In fact, you may be able to avoid a lot of problems by helping your body tune in the proper way. So, with that being said, give a thumbs up if you got value out of this. If you got some inspiration from this, give a thumbs up. That really helps me share this with other people. Number 2, take action. It's called Become Your Own Healer. It teaches something I call a reflex response technique. It's something where you are like your own tuning fork. You're like your own dowsing rod. You're like your own pendulum. There's real data, real science, real information. This stuff is authentic. It's just a practical application, a skill set like playing the piano that you'll develop in greater and greater ways as you use it and apply it and work with it. It's a fun game, and I invite you to join in with that. So there will be, I think I included it in the description, but if you go to drkeving.com, that's drkeving.com, and you look for /shop, that takes you to the main page, and in there on the shop is, I'm going to pull it up here for the rest of the audience, see if they can get it. We got the shop, here it is, found it, and Instagram, sorry, you're not going to be able to see that for a second. Actually, I can. Boom, here it is. Let's get this thing oriented. So there we are. You're seeing the whole kit and caboodle here. We're on the website shop right here. And you're going to see the back door of how the system kind of works here. So we got the shop. I'll put this over here where it's supposed to be. And here we have AO Scan, this frequency technology to help you balance yourself in so many ways. But this is how you are your own. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see. There it is. So there's the AO Scan right there. There's Becoming Your Own Healer. You want to click on that because this is like becoming your own frequency healer, your own frequency doctor. Am I plugged in? Here we are. I need to be on this side. All right, so Becoming Your Own Healer. I think if I do it properly, if I did it right, where is it? Nah, I didn't do it. So, I know what happened there. That's the thing with live, everybody. There's a lot going on. So here we are. Bring this over here so we can see it together as an audience. Becoming Your Own Healer on my website. And when you go on that, there's a nice little video right here that I put together, describes some of the benefits. This was in a day I was really trying to learn the marketing strategies and how to communicate. However, there's some great knowledge in here. I invite you to take a look at that. Just go to the shop section on the website and you'll see that. I'll drop that in some links. And you can see it scrolling right there, drkeving.com, and you just add a /shop, and it'll get you to the right spots. So whether you're a professional, you're a doctor of chiropractic, you're someone who's interested in homeopathy, there's somebody that, you're a Reiki professional, a massage therapist, you're a dentist. Dentists use these methods. Accountant, my goodness. You can find some information now if you know what you're talking about, know how to figure it out. However, we're trying to find rhythm and peace and harmony within to result in that in your outside life. So go to that, click on that, access that, and I'll help you along the way to develop your inner healer. That's why it's called becoming your own healer. And when you can access that, well, the world's your oyster. I want that for you, because all ships rise in a tide. Ahoy, Captain. I'll see you on the other side. Peace. All right. We are live Wednesday night. Get your